This is WCM's Park Update, a weekly show covering the outdoor hospitality industry, hosted by Ben Quiggle and Mike Gast. During each episode, you'll hear from special guests and campground experts on topics that will help your park flourish. WCM's Park Update is a production of Woodall's Campground Magazine.
Hi, I'm Ben Quiggle, editor of Woodall's Campground Magazine, and this is another edition of WCM's Park Update, which is sponsored by Campgrounds of America. And my esteemed colleague, Mike Gast, is here, president of the Emiola Group, which is a marketing group. So you do lots of things, Mike.
I just do anything anybody needs, just like always. A whole career of just doing anything anybody needs.
He's jack of all trades. And our guests today are pretty recognizable to a lot of people. Lori Severson, the executive director of the Wisconsin Association of Campground Owners, and then, of course, the co-founder of the Campground Owners Expo, which is what we're going to talk about today. And then Danielle Todd is also here, who helps, I guess, what's your title, Danielle? Organizer or...
doer of multiple things.
Doer of multiple things.
Same thing.
Yeah. Whatever anybody needs, I'll go with that. Yeah.
And she's a familiar face at the Campground Owners Expo as well. And I mean, I'm excited to be talking about the Campground Owners Expo. We're getting sort of into the conference season, and I'm ready to go back to Branson. This is the fourth year for the show, right?
It is.
It's amazing. It's 4 years, I guess. What, and the show's changed, to some degree over the 4 years. Just kind of describe a little bit about that, the progress that you guys have made on the show, I guess.
Well, I tell you what, we were thrilled. The first year we had to really ask our sponsors to step up and help us a lot. That was super important. I was blessed by having all my colleagues from camp who came and devoted their time and talents to making this successful. So that piece of it was, really the start of it. That's how we got to where we got, and everybody kind of helping and giving their ideas, and that's what it's all about, actually. So that makes a big difference. This year we're super, super excited. We're going to have some training for RVI tech training. And it's going to start on the Monday prior to our conference and go to the end of that week. So that should be something new and exciting. We're very excited about our back of the house training. And that's one thing that's always been different for us, going to other businesses and saying, okay, how can we kind of fit into those businesses and learn more from what your industry does. Because it's so great to get all the good campground info, but to expand and to get to the next level, you've got to talk to more people that are dealing with that same outdoor kind of hospitality. So Danielle can tell you a little bit about where we're going and who we're going to get to see and the little back of the house kind of tour.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead, Ben.
Yeah. So I guess Danielle, just tell us a little bit about what people can look forward to, I guess.
Yeah, so this year we're going to, it's called Grand Country Music Hall. So they have multiple different variety shows that they do. We are going to kind of their comedy one. And it's going to be really fun. They're going to do a show followed by a Q&A panel with people from the cast, and also part of the other operations of the venue itself. They have a campground there, they have a water park, they have all kinds of stuff. And then included in that ticket for that behind the scenes event, you'll also get a lunch at their large buffet. I think it's like 125 items on their buffet. So yeah, lots of good stuff for a small ticket price. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we have limited space for that. So tickets are going quick for that. So it should be a really fun time.
Yeah. What, how many, do you want to say how many tickets you have available for that? Or do you want that just to be hidden, I guess?
Lori, do you remember the exact number a few hundred, I think.
Yes, yeah, I think
I can't
that's
remember
the
the exact
most that
number.
we can fit in there. Yeah.
Like 2 or 250 or something like that. Yeah, it's a limited amount, not like some of the other things that we've done. So it's a little more exclusive, limited event. So
And
Yeah.
I
yeah,
really
Yeah.
think the cool thing is going to be that Q&A with all the different department heads. I think that's what people are really, really going to love.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, Lori, I'm always amazed when we run into folks that started a business or started a new enterprise anyway at the start of a worldwide pandemic like you guys did, and made it to the other side and sort of what was the impetus? What was the reason for starting this show? And what niche do you think you feel in the industry?
Well, I think one of the most important things was, and one of the biggest reasons that we wanted to start it, is there's so many campground owners that don't have a great state resource. And that's really what we are focused on, is helping those campground states that don't really have a leader form and develop at least some resources within each other. Because, with the way that things go with zoning and wanting to expand, not being able to having all the tools that you need, there are so many things that are just related to your state. So we wanted to really get people together and be able to talk about that. And it's tough when you only have 10 campgrounds in your state that you can get excited about being an association. So you've almost got to have some other way to help them out. And we found that this is a pretty good way to help them out. So this year we're going to have Illinois, Missouri, and Tennessee. They're all going to kind of come together and have their annual meeting there. And then their folks can all enjoy the expo, and they can still be a part of that. But it's a good way for them to start associations or grow their associations. And that was really the thing that we had to kind of get in place.
I think one of the things that I hear from people who attend the conference is they just kind of like the small, it's not a small conference anymore, but just the type of park owners that show up at the conference, I guess. We have a lot of corporate people in the industry, and it just seems like maybe, more mom and pop parks at your conference than maybe other conferences. And I guess that kind of gives it a family feel, right?
It kind of does. And I think the big thing is it's not necessarily the sort of the size of the parks. One gentleman reminded me, he said, yep, we come here just to give $80,000. We got a big bargain price of $200 to go to the registration, but I spent $80K every year in the expo. So it's a different feel, I think, Ben. We really try not to have a lot of politics going on or having a lot of other stressors. We just want to make it fun and give the park owners something that they can take back with them, no matter what size they are, something that they can use right away when they go back. Here's really something that's going to be able to help you. And by talking with some of our suppliers, and we met with some of them just recently and just had a little, hey, what can we do to make this better kind of conversation. And one of the things that we recognized is that there's a need for people to understand how do they do better in retail, or how do they do better in their snack shack, and how is their pricing, and what should it look like, and just some kind of simple basics for some folks. And just depending on if that's your thing or not, it can really be a big deal to you. So we want people to leave with things that make them money, make people happy, and are really able to grow and increase your investment that you have in your park.
I know one of the things too is attracting people from states that don't necessarily have a state association. Have you seen a large number of attendees coming from areas that maybe they don't have access to a state association or even an expo that come to the show, I guess?
Yeah, we really do. It's always surprising to me too, because Wisconsin, God love them, they have quite a number of folks that actually show up, and I think that they probably get everything that they need. But again, it's mentoring, being able to hang out with those folks, that kind of thing. But our camp members have been awesome about helping little states grow, even if they're not quite an association yet. There's at least 10 or 11 of them that can kind of meet and talk about things that are important in their state. And then when they need help, they can reach out to us, and we can at least tell them, hey, this is what happened in our state when we did that kind of thing. So we look to give those folks some leadership and some resources for that networking.
So I'll ask this of Danielle. Have you seen glamping take a larger role in the expo? Are there more vendors that cater to the glamping side of the business?
We have a few. Last year we had our first glamping tent at the expo, and they're coming back again this year as well. And we've had a lot more people reach out in that arena too. So yeah, it's definitely some more interest there. Not taking over the show by any means, but there's definitely people with that in that kind of area that are taking more interest in the show too.
And we really try to partner with with the glamping show, because they've got a great thing going on for sure there, and we encourage people to check that out as well. I think that knowledge is power. So if you get the more of these things that you can get to, if you can learn one little thing that's going to make a difference in your business, it's worth it. And that's really kind of the key, And if you go with an open mind, you can always come back with something that's really value added.
Yeah. So, Danielle, I imagine you're working pretty hard to put the educational schedule together. How does that get done? I guess, what do you guys look for when you put together that schedule? Of the sessions that people attend, I guess.
Yeah, we're just about ready to release that soon. We have a couple last minute slots that we're looking to fill. Yeah. But we have a speaker submission form on our website, and we get a lot of submissions on that, both from campground owners and from professional speakers, businesses that are in the industry that want to speak. So we get a lot of different submissions on there and different topics, and so that kind of helps us obviously have a base to work from, and then we kind of fill things in around those as we see what's missing, what people have asked for the previous year, what they asked for more of, that kind of thing. So just kind of going off of the submissions that we get, what we hear from people that they want to see, things that are being talked about in the Facebook groups, stuff like that are really important to people that we're seeing throughout the year too. So
yeah, definitely. I mean, what are some of the things that park owners every year kind of come up to you and just kind of mention, hey, we would love a session on this or another session on this, I guess, if they've already attended one, I guess? What are some of the topics that are really hot?
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes, with us doing this and doing the Waco show, obviously, some topics seem like they,
like oh, we
just got to be burnt out on that, But then those are the things that people ask for all the time. So stuff like activities, people are always looking for new ideas on activities, but then they also want the stuff that might seem a little more boring too, that the financial stuff, the insurance stuff, the legal stuff. So we try to have a good mix of that kind of stuff, especially with people being able to bring up to 5 people from their park. They probably have people that are in all of those areas, so people that are doing the activities, owners that want more of that business side of things, and the maintenance stuff and outdoor kind of things. So we try to make sure we hit all of those departments really, so everybody has something to go to.
Yeah.
And this year we're actually adding pool school, or we're hoping to add pool school to the palette, if you will. So we want to get some of the things that are required, and the things that make it fun. Always teaching and coaching is a big deal, and Kelly is going to do an amazing job on Train the Trainer this year, so we're excited to have her. And I think it's just a lot about people in the industry that have run their own campgrounds, having them share their information. There's nothing better than hearing from a campground owner themselves, man, don't do this. This is what happened when I went down this road, or make sure you look at this, or, so it's not only the successes, but we're also really willing to share the failures, and I think that's important because it helps the next guy not fall in the same trap.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have to take a break. 1 second, recognize our sponsor, Campgrounds of America, and we will be back to talk more about the Campground Owners Expo. Campgrounds of America is the leading brand in camping, known for its 60-plus years of expertise and trusted quality. By joining the COE family, franchisees benefit from the strong brand recognition, operational excellence, and a proven business model designed to foster growth and success. The flexible franchise options empower owners to achieve their goals while providing an exceptional camping experience for guests. To learn more about joining the KOA family of campgrounds, visit ownakoa.com. Hi, welcome back to WCM's Park Update, and we are chatting with Lori Severson and Danielle Todd about the Campground Owners Expo, which is coming up in December in Branson, Missouri. I guess I think the last 2 years it was held more near the end of November, and then this year it switched again. I guess what was the impetus behind changing it back more into December, I guess?
Well, I think we always want to make sure.
We always try to keep it, right after that Thanksgiving time, because the first year being a little too close to Christmas was not as great, but so.
Yeah. And we work real hard to make sure we're not on somebody else's conference. That's the biggest thing. Mm-hmm. We don't want to land on something where people have to make a choice. We think it's really important to go to everything that you can that can help grow your interest in making more money in your park. So we don't want to take away from any of those opportunities.
Yeah, definitely, and it's a busy time of year. Obviously, you guys know it's a busy time of year, so it's also fun. It's also exciting to be able to see so many people at the conferences. So
Lori, how big can the show get before you've got a growth problem and maybe Branson can't hold it anymore?
Yeah, well, that is something that we're kind of working on now. One of the things that we've decided to do is Danielle's done an amazing job with filling the booths and getting loads of vendors. So now we're kind of looking at who are the vendors that we actually need in the show. So, do we need more of, the gift pieces? Do we need more of, marketing? What suppliers do we really need more of? And we're starting to kind of sort of cherry pick or focus on those so that we have a good mix of everything that you could need within your campground, so that, you have all the things that you need there. So far, because they have that other hotel that's attached to them, we're able to have enough space that way. They also have some amazing filler space, I would say, that we can kind of creep into. So we should be good for at least 2 more years. And then I think from there, we're going to have to look.
Yeah. I mean, what's the ceiling on this thing? So I guess, is there a ceiling, or is it just going to continue to grow, I guess?
We're going to grow it as much as we possibly can. That's for sure. But I think they've got good space for for the meeting rooms and that kind of thing. And one of the things that we've figured out early on is you pay for that meeting room space anyway, right? So us allowing the other states to use it for their meeting rooms and, be able to get together with people and that kind of thing works really well. Otherwise, you know how it is when you rent that conference space, you have space that nobody's using during a certain time. So we're just trying to really kind of zig and zag and make sure that we use every inch of that conference center in the best way possible. And I think that's going to take us a couple of years to get to that max.
We talked a little bit about the expo. Talk a little bit about the ExpoConnect stuff that you guys are doing this year, and how attendees and expo people can kind of get involved in that, I guess.
Sure. Well, the ExpoConnect.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go ahead, Danielle.
That's okay. So we kind of did it last year, a little late, just kind of added it to see where it would go. And we had a good response with it last year. So we wanted to kind of formalize it a little bit more this year. So it has a name, it's ExpoConnect. And so we are, essentially allowing the attendees to pre-schedule meetings with the exhibitors that they want to have more of a private conversation with. And so the exhibitors can opt into that program. They're listed on our website. The attendees can go find their information and contact them directly to set up an appointment. We have time set aside kind of pre-show on Tuesday night from 4 to 7, I think it is. And that, anybody that's going to be there for that night will have their own space for those people to come in and have their meetings. We kind of left it up to the exhibitors because they know their products and services better as far as, is 15 minutes enough time? Do you need to schedule a half-hour appointment? Do you need just, less than that even? And so they kind of have that control. And then we feel like it also kind of allows them to foster that relationship ahead of time. If it's somebody who's looking for an insurance quote or, other service-based things where they would need a quote for something, that maybe then that company can have that ready for them when they meet at COE, and then they don't have, weeks afterwards of the follow-ups and things like that to get things rolling. So, or if people are purchasing products, things like that, they can bring it there, save on shipping costs, that the campground can pick it up right there at the show, that kind of thing. So we feel like that just helps get the ball rolling for that relationship ahead of the show and ahead of that pre-meeting even at the show. So
and it's kind of part of our trying to get both of the suppliers and the owners feeling like they're really working together for the end result. We know that those suppliers are the heart of what allows us to put on the show. Without them, we just don't exist, So we need those suppliers, but we also need pertinent suppliers that can help our members. So that's really important too, so that when that campground owner comes there, they can look at these experts and really get advice. One of our things that we're trying to work on this year is if a campground owner comes up and says, boy, we didn't sell through on that item, or that item just didn't work for us, is helping the suppliers understand how they can give them tips and tricks to help sell that or move that product faster and better for them. So it's kind of an educational process going both ways. So they can each see how can we help each other to make this bigger for both of us.
Yeah, definitely. The expo's been great, the last 3 years, and it'll be great this year. I guess one of the coolest aspects of it is the commercial recreation stuff. Are they going to have another big booth again this year?
They will. They are amazing. They not only from a product standpoint, but a knowledge standpoint. So we can't say enough about those big sponsors that really help us move into this whole program. And CRS was there at the beginning. They were there to give advice and help with putting on sessions and seminars, and that's just amazing. So, and then we just figured out, well, when you buy all your big toys, you're going to need a nice banker. So we got one of those, and then we've got somebody that can insure those products for you. So you just make a little loop around that, and you can grab a Bloody Mary on your way out. And then you're good.
So, Lori, what are you hearing from the campground owners, not just at the show, but in your association? What are you hearing about the season so far? I know we've heard some tales about the reservation window shrinking and people's habits being a little bit different this summer. What's going on up there?
I think in general, we just had a fall tours here not too long ago. So I think in general, most people are kind of the same as last year. Some are a little bit ahead. We have not heard too many of campground owners in Wisconsin that are feeling that 2019 hit, where they're kind of going back to where we were before the pandemic. I think that we're doing, flat or a little bit above. I have heard other states not necessarily trending in that same way, and we have heard some stuff about the shoulder season on the fall being a little less full than it normally is. So we'll see how that shakes out for us. But I'm especially hearing from people that are doing their Halloween things at the end that they're still fine, and the special events are still going fine, that kind of thing. So I think you just have to be really, really creative in your marketing, and that's why it's so important to get together, because you will see people, I think, having to attend more shows, looking at their marketing differently and that kind of thing, because you got to keep that sales funnel full. That's key.
Yeah, and you guys, of course, the Green Bay area is excited about hosting the NFL draft here early next spring, I guess, and that's turning into something that campgrounds, at least in that area, can take advantage of as well, I guess, too, right?
Oh, they sure can. That's for sure. That is going to be, they're going to definitely use all the hotels and all that kind of lodging. So they're going to need some backup. And I'm pretty sure that our campgrounds up there will be able to make that happen. So, and we're lucky enough to actually, we're going to have Brett Favre in our park again on October 12th.
Well, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we can ask him if he's going to go.
I guess what's the weather like in northern Wisconsin at the end of March, beginning of April, I guess?
That's a great question.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
We can actually answer it.
It could still be spring, it could be summer, It could be winter. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
right.
a fun part. You just never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know
The guessing
sometimes
game.
for your conference in Severson, it can either be snowy or I think last year it wasn't too bad. It was warm.
It was nice
I think.
last year.
It was nice,
Yeah,
Yep.
glad.
It was almost too
So,
nice. You have to be careful. There's a
Right.
balance there. It's got to be like a little not nice, because if it's really nice, then the campground owners want to go out and fix stuff.
Yep. So I guess, how do people learn more about the Campground Owners Expo, and where can they register for the event, I guess?
Yeah, so our website I was about to give you the Waco website, is campgroundownersexpo.com. Both campground owners and exhibitors can register online, or we have the forms to download if you'd rather email or mail it in. And yeah, it's all the information is on there about the ExpoConnect that we talked about. You can see the exhibitors that are registered, and learn more about the behind the scenes event, all of that kind of stuff. So, and our contact information is there as well.
And it's probably one of the cheapest conferences people will attend. It's $200, correct? And you can have up to 5 people from a park attend with that $200, correct?
Yeah, 200 for up to 5 people, and then any additional is just 50 after that. So we try to keep it really affordable, so it can be a good thing to bring your team, managers, that kind of stuff for them to learn in these education sessions also. Or if you want to bring family and kind of treat it like a little pre-holiday vacation too. So
yeah, we try to make sure that there's a little time.
It's Branson.
Time to do stuff afterwards, for sure. But you know what, guys, we could not do this without our wonderful sponsors. So we always encourage the campground owners, when they come, please bring your checkbooks. Spend with these guys. It's a business. They have to make money so they can give us their money and help us with that. So we really do want to make it a win-win, and that's the important thing. If you don't have to pay a lot of money on registration, then hopefully you have a little bit more to spend on things that you need for your park.
Yeah.
And there's lots of opportunities to win money too. So
yes.
To spend with those vendors at the show.
Yes, that's really a cool thing. I don't know if you guys realize that we spend over $10,000 on little incentives that campground owners can get and earn, and then they take that money and spend it with one of the vendors that are inside of that expo. So that's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, and I always enjoy some of the neat suppliers you guys kind of bring into the show too. I know last year you had the dino. I can't remember the complete name, but you had the dinosaurs out there by the registration desk, and we interviewed the lady who operates that for a profile in WCM earlier this year. And so, I mean, just some of that unique supplier stuff that you might not see anywhere else too is kind of neat. So,
Yeah.
We know you got to change it up.
yeah. I'm really looking forward to visiting you guys in Branson. So that's exciting,
Yeah.
and thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Yeah.
Thank
us.
you both.
Yeah, and we'll see everyone again next week.
Thank you for listening to WCM's Park Update, a production of Woodall's Campground Magazine. Join us for a new show each Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn for daily news and updates, and subscribe to our news feed on our website at woodallscm.com.